like the school, like,
It's been recorded.
like the school, I believe that's almost a 4 inch down there.
Yeah,
Just a thought. If you
So
need it.
that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm probably not gonna, because I'm not that mechanical. I mean, I could probably, somebody show me how to do it, but if something went wrong, then.
There's probably 1 inch copper coming there.
Yeah, ours is all brand new. We did it all over at Pierce House.
Or it might be Pete that plastic or,
so we'll be running up that cost more with them bigger meters, you
no,
know,
mine's
if
one.
we want one down to, oh, and that's another thing. We don't know what's happening with the school, but if you'd have to have 21 more there. For each
Right, but
department.
we can work and phase in as
Yeah.
they get the work done in there, so. Cause they're not ready, they're nowhere near being ready for that, and hopefully it will get to the point where they will be ready, but, but so. I still don't know what's better to do the third party or to, I think.
When we did it last time, John, they had, we hired them to put them all in. And when they did, there was a couple that didn't work when they started them up. And then they had to go back and they actually took them out and replaced them with a couple other ones they're new because they were bad off the shelf. So the turnkey is nice when you just say, I expect these working by this date and they gotta do whatever they can, but if we install them ourselves, is there a chance,
It'd take a while.
is there a chance that the meter company might say, we screwed them up putting them in, or, you know?
Yeah,
anything
that's
like
true,
that?
too,
I don't know.
Well, it's pretty, it's got an arrow.
Yeah.
Water comes through the floor and it goes to the house, so that's which way the arrow goes. So, but I mean, if you carried one in and dropped the head of it, you know, that could happen to anybody.
Yeah,
So-
and if we do it ourselves, I would say that's probably gonna take a good
It'll take,
2-3 months at least, you know. But we also, Sue's gonna have to check with Banyan and see what we need to do. I don't know if we should. Maybe we should go ahead and order like maybe half the meters and, get the programming stuff kind of in place. But we need to get the past due water bills first. But we can't keep kicking this can down the road either.
I did talk to Banyan about it and told him we were converting, and she said, once you're ready to go, just call them. And they'll help us with all of it, so she said it's not that bad.
Okay, okay.
And then at that time, we'd have to go, are we gonna go monthly water bills? And we wouldn't probably change it monthly now until we get our new meters up and do it all at once. And change it to monthly so people don't get so far behind. I mean, they just ignore the bill, that's how it gets, so I mean. Could you ever put a cap on it, say, okay, $500, your water gets shut off
Some people's bills are that high though.
in a month?
Yeah.
Well,
Resident?
in a month, probably not, no, but quarterly.
Yeah,
There's a lot of them that are well over that,
Yeah, there are some large ones.
so
so monthly, you know, I mean,
maybe that's a community input thing, I don't know.
yeah,
cause you do like, say they don't pay 3 months in a row, then it's something like
yeah,
that.
that
Mhm.
Put a month timeline on it.
strike two, you're out, you know? You just gotta put something with some bite in it because they know we haven't had any bite again for quite a while here, the way the list shows. And they take advantage of it, so.
It gets really inconvenient when you can't flush a toilet, so.
And then we have a couple properties that have no water to it. Would we be putting meters into them or just leave them the way they are?
I'd say leave them the way they are.
Yeah,
We were actually gonna check to see if we could ask for a welfare check. I don't remember if we followed up on that.
I don't see,
To Kennedy, I think. That's for
Yeah,
like,
that's another day.
yeah, that past summer, how you could live without water in your house, I just, wow.
so,
Alrighty,
And we're gonna talk about condemning.
no,
Oh.
not yet anyway. Well, they're probably both there, but anyway. Okay, so what do we want to do with the water meters?
Might have to bite the bullet and do the third party. It's a lot, I know, but
Maybe we could ask Kellen, see if he'd participate in helping, you know, if you don't, you know, then it's all in race. If that's too much, then another $25,000. No,
Yeah, I think sometimes with the timeline, it might be smarter to do it third party, if that's how it was done the previous time. Cause like I said, I could probably be.
Any screw-ups, they're gonna have to foot the bill on it, so.
So what?
If something gets damaged, broke, whatever, they're responsible for it. In reality,
I think the last time there, I put mine in and I put my mom's in and I put one or two in the shops in. Didn't even take an hour to do all four of them. It's just nothing. I mean, so,
you check with Kellen, ask Tom his input too.
yeah. We can tell Tom we gave this some thought here tonight, see what his thoughts are at the regular meeting and that work.
Yeah,
All right.
so just long we
Moving forward.
keep it, yeah.
Should we order the meters? We have the money for almost all of it.
I almost think that's not a bad idea to go ahead and get them, or at least half of them on hand, because I know you talked about that earlier, that they think that they probably have enough for us in one.
Yeah, just to make sure that
You know,
we get started, we have.
but to get started with, or so. Cause I'm assuming the program, that's just gonna probably be a key code and they're gonna send something electronically where we just tap into Banyan and. You know, it's not gonna be anything that they're gonna upload into it, cause I think there comes with a laptop that will go with the reading.
Did that one come with I think it's like an iPad?
Or an iPad.
Does that one come with it or do we have to buy? I can't remember.
I think that's included in that quote, if I remember right.
I can't remember. One of them was, I know one of them was it came with it and the other one was you had to buy it and it was just something that you downloaded onto it, but I can't remember which. I
Yeah,
can look into that, but.
yeah.
So order the,
Maybe what you should do is take and get a list of what the locker would take. The elevator, I think, is only gonna. The water service coming in there is just a regular household one. I remember that. And a bar, just find out which businesses would take and get a cost on them. By the next meeting, we know how much more.
Yeah, and then we'll just wait until the next meeting, we'll
All right,
trigger then.
you gonna keep going down the list, John?
Well, no, so the rest of them all were more by memory. When I got here, Sue said that Kellen like I said, I came up with this off the top of my head. I forgot about the seal coating.
Yes.
That's what you pointed out. That was what, 91,000 that's coming this year?
Last year it was 91. I talked to him earlier today and he said they're estimating a 5 to 10% increase.
Was that $100?
Yeah, and it's another price increase because last year they had products on the year lined up that they were gonna be down here anyway, and this year they might not, so.
Well, that there is what we were supposed to do last year, but because we had so many things and we couldn't get our work done. I mean, we've saved that money up. That money's already there, so we're good on that seal coating. Are we ever gonna go down Holiday Street with the new water main then?
Well, that's a big chunk of change. So I don't know if that's something that we want to include in with something whenever we look at bonding, once we,
Do it all? Filtration plant and the water main?
yeah,
Bolton and Mink was supposed to put something together for me to send to our representative, and I have not gotten anything, so I don't know if that's something that you guys need to let them know about, or,
Is that guy that was here that night?
yeah, the representative.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. That's a good idea.
And he said that if we had the plans, to get it to him, and then he would bring it up in like their 5-year plan. But
I think he needed, was it like March or something that he?
don't remember.
It said it wasn't gonna happen next.
It wasn't
It
gonna
wouldn't-
happen
it
for
wouldn't
another
happen, but
5
he did it
years.
on- I think it
Yeah,
has to, I
Our
think by March or April.
treatment plant can't last that
On the list or whatever.
And I thought Bolton and Mink were supposed to get that to us and I haven't seen anything. So
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I can reach out to them again.
Yeah. But we also have the sewer line and the catch basins on out by the post office.
Where did the 85,000 come from there? Where is that estimate? How's that dollar amount?
I think that one may be from memory.
so for just the chunk that we did, I think was 38,000. That was including the paving, which we held off on. So then, just, we don't have a hard number for the
Yeah.
rest of what that would entail, but just the section that we did was 38,000.
But we were gonna probably set 2 new catch basins
Yeah,
and we were gonna bore underneath the street so we don't wreck the street. And then weren't we just gonna line it going north?
I don't know if we could. I think he said it was that one line was collapsing.
I thought he said it was shifted or something.
The one going towards the county road.
Yep.
He took I forget I think it was a 10-inch pipe and he took a 8-inch PVC and slid it in there.
Yeah, because the first couple section or a section
Yeah.
is broke.
Uh,
Yeah,
So I mean, potentially we could line that, depending on,
I guess we need to televise it, you
yeah,
know, do we just do that on our own sometime, get it televised? Not put this in a bid, you know, because you're paying on somebody coming and televising. I don't know if that,
affordable jetting should be able to do.
yeah, can he get a pretty good look at it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would bet so.
so if he comes into town sometime, have him run up there and see what we got.
Maybe next week when it's,
Yeah.
it might be a good time.
So that's definitely gonna have to be redone the rest of the way, so.
Yeah, because that, we can't really wait on either one of those, can we? That, the one,
Well, by the alley on Kellen's side is. You can see where that's dipping down. And that was
Yeah.
when they,
that's the catch basin you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
The catch basins on both sides.
And that manhole's collapsing.
Yeah. So, yeah. That needs to be done this year.
This warm weather we're having, Brian. If we do have a problem, or it should show with the snow melt, don't have a lot of snow, but you think it'll show any? Hard to say.
I don't think we'll have enough water to run into make it a difference, will we?
Not
For an I and I?
with the little inch of snow we got, but unless there's, and it was really dry in the fall, so there's not frozen water captured in the soil subsurface, so probably not too
Not
much,
show.
probably not too much.
So with this one here, the next one down, then that's what we're already working on, right? Holiday?
The I.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah, that's the one that they just presented on, and that 180 was basically their initial estimate. Now I don't know with not getting that easement, if that's gonna cost us anymore, when they're gonna have to kind of.
I think that 180 was the cost if they dug everything and put all new in, but
Yeah.
now we might have to go and
you know,
line some of it.
we spent $4,367 that day there behind Jay and Brett's shop. Trying to determine where this all goes, you know, one day we spent 4,300 there, so,
Yeah.
but it'll be a lot better project. For these guys, because. I think that old line that you're going into and all that, you'd get it out from underneath that shed and. It'd probably be better for everybody.
I don't know. I don't know if it's hurting anything under the shed, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But we don't know what kind of shape it's in and you can't, you know. Wellhead,
That, all of that, that's for a later discussion. That's gonna take, we're gonna have to have a discussion on bonding and how we're gonna do that.
yep,
Because, so if we want to qualify for any of those state grants, we're gonna have to
We would sure put that, Holiday water main in on that then too, right?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think so.
They were both, that'd be both put into the same thing.
Cause we're gonna have to finish with that ionite, the phosphorus. I was confused on that amount, but, we're probably gonna drop about 15,000 on that with the chemicals and getting that pump in. And didn't we need to put in a structure at the pond for that too? For the,
He talked about a little building on grade there, Brian, didn't he?
Yeah, they want to put a small building to the right of where the gate is on the berm.
Yeah.
Close to that transfer structure that's there now. The reason for the building was for security and for
Store the chemicals.
store the chemical room in, and the pumps and the controls and safety shower for the chemical high
Right.
wash. Things like that. So I think 15,000 is probably pretty low.
yeah,
And then we
We were
have,
talking about bringing the fence out a ways and then adding a gate.
and a gate, I just put gate down here because we wanted electric gate.
Yeah, that would be nice for chemical deliveries and stuff.
How much chemical would it take a year, do you think? Dollars wise?
They were talking about, what was it, probably 9,000 gallon tank. So that you could take a full truckload of chemical. If we ordered a bulk truck, you get a lot cheaper price than
Yeah.
if you have it. The next thing would be to have it mini bulk. He was talking about putting 1,000 gallon tank down there for a while. And 1,000 gallon, you'd mini bulk into that. And 1,000 would probably do one,
Transfer?
one.
Treat.
But he said, the thing we forgot was last year when I had, the first one was low, the next one was higher, and the third one was really high. If we would have just treated that third one, we would have been within our permit. So you may not have to treat every single discharge.
Especially after it's sat all winter.
Right, if spring one, maybe you could just let that one go.
Yeah.
And then if you have, when it's raining a bunch, we have to bring water over and hurry, get rid of it. Treat that one.
So when you transfer out of the primary into the secondary, that's when you treat it.
Yes,
You're pushing it into the other pond.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's done by parts per million, or how in the heck do you
right,
fix
so
the factor all that?
say the pump pumps 350 gallons per minute.
Yep.
Then you just set your chemical feed rate based on that. If you want to get 5 parts per million, it's a quick calculation. And then you just,
You can transfer that as fast as you want, right? It's when you just charge in the
Yeah.
river, then you only can go so much
6
per
inches a
day.
day.
Yeah.
is there any, expiration date on the chemicals? Like a,
No. They're gonna use alum or ferric chloride, and they're both, ferric chloride is pickle liquor, they call it. It's a process of when they pickle steel and they remove all the rust from it, they use muriatic acid.
Yeah.
And then, so this product, the ferric chloride, is a byproduct of the pickling industry, so it shouldn't have to be mixed
Okay,
or
okay.
anything like that.
I think they were gonna get us specs on the building and everything from that last presentation when they talked about that, right?
Yeah, and then he was mentioning, well, maybe you guys wanna find somebody just local to build a building, and it's like, that sounds kind of hokey, but.
Well, I mean, we have, there is a couple people that could possibly put that up.
Boilermaker would draw it and give them the specs and say,
Yeah.
then put that out for bids, but if they just tell us, just have somebody throw up a building and.
Yeah.
We could end up with whatever.
Yeah, you'd probably want
He
to
made
draw it
the
up.
comment, what, a 10 by 12 roughly? I think.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
snug, but
yeah.
Could just get a
Attic.
shed delivered out there in Anchorage,
What?
a tough shed.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
but
gonna
you
have to have a concrete floor and.
Oh, the floor has to be so it has,
have
Yeah, so
Chemical in there that eats concrete. Yeah, you wouldn't want to have a spill and have it,
You would almost have to have a 4-foot footing under that slab.
Would have Bolden Mink draw it up and then put it out for bids.
yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
The generator there then,
Is that on order race? Did you order?
they have it. It's we already.
We paid half
Yeah,
down of it.
they called me a couple weeks ago saying they had it, but we're not ready for it out there.
Okay,
I talked to, when Bonings was in town doing those couple curb stops, I talked to him about potentially doing something out there to level that off, because it'll need a couple loads of fill and to be graded and packed in, so that we're not for a
Okay.
$40,000 dinner, they're just sliding down the hill.
We got a good big pile of clay out there that you can use to make a base.
Where's that at?
Right when you go into the lagoon, it came from my place, so
Oh, sure.
there's a nice plenty of good clay if they dug it down 3 feet and packed in the clay and then put some rock
Yeah.
or there. We have it right there on site. But did we pay $26,000 down? Half of it?
20.
Pardon?
We paid
20.
20,
20?
yeah.
All right.
So once we have our little spot ready for it, they can have it here pretty quick.
okay. Cause then we'll have, cause are we gonna need power in the building for the phosphorus? Phosphorus?
Yeah, there's already power there at that little panel right inside the gate. That's for the transfer pumps.
Okay, all right.
So they can probably add a couple of.
Another panel, there you go.
Panel.
Sub panel, yep.
One thing I keep thinking about while you guys are talking is, in my past life, when we had a lot of projects like this going on at one time, we had a Gantt chart. It's called a Gantt chart. I don't know if you've ever heard of that word before,
Yeah,
but it's a progress as things happen, like raise, is it ordered? Yes. On the Gantt chart, you put that milestone and then what are we waiting for? We're waiting for the fill. And anybody at a glance can look at the city chart and say, here's all our projects, here's where we're at. I don't know if anybody's got the
actually, I
time to do that, but that sure is nice. to have a Gantt
think
chart.
you can actually do a Gantt chart in Excel now too.
Yes, you can.
You
Yeah.
need to draw one up
Yeah.
for the water treatment. That way we can see this, we're not doing nothing. And then
Not
you
do-
need to get going.
Yeah, but that's a nice way to keep track of your projects. is-
Yeah,
Yeah, cause we do, there's gonna be a lot this year. That's why I kind of wanted to have some of this stuff out.
Mhm.
Okay, so then we've paid 20, so then that's 23K left.
so the city shop project,
I would kind of say with everything we're looking at and putting out in money this year is maybe we should just hold off on those bottom two for a little while. Right now, we're potentially at 400,000. Plus whatever we're gonna have to put in for the chemical treatment at the plant, the phosphorus. Oh, and I forgot, what's the next one? Oh, we're probably pressing 450,000 at least.
are you including the water meters in on that, John?
Yep, water meters.
But
Did you take off Halliday? We're 200 off Halliday.
Yep, I didn't include that. So if we 100,000 plus for the water meters, 85 for the sewer. I didn't put anything in, estimate anything for the catch basin. 180,000 roughly for the INI. Seal coating at 91. We have 23 left on the generator.
That 91 was the cost last year, probably.
Yeah.
That's what he.
At a minimum, it'll be 95 this year.
Yeah.
And I think your number for this phosphorus control is about a third of what it's gonna cost.
About a third.
Yeah.
Okay.
what was that number, Brian?
LMI pumps and those pumps are $2,500 a piece. Plus all the tubing and piping stand for that. The double containment for the chemical itself. I think your number's really low.
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to figure out in the
Yeah.
minutes, but anyway, and we're gonna have this, we're gonna have to probably start working on that come spring thaw, right?
Sure would be nice.
Well, that makes it as clear as mud.
We should, do we have a balance of what we have in the water and the sewer funds right now, you know? We should be gaining on our water and sewer, you know, because we
I
haven't
don't-
been made
I
in,
can get one, but.
you know,
have it.
because some of that'll be, the water meters, that COVID money would help a lot of that. We probably have another 25 to offset that. So that,
But still, just remember, the COVID money is in our checking account.
yeah, it's
So,
already in there.
you know, so
general.
all what we're gonna do, all what we're doing is saving ourselves from potentially losing it if we don't spend it.
Right.
The Fed comes in and takes it, but we're still gonna. It's in our checking account now as is, so we're gonna still write a check for 100 and whatever thousand if we hire out third party for the meters and
But
everything.
it would, yeah, it would, but that would, the remainder would come out of our water fund. You know, wouldn't come out of the general, the
Right,
COVID money's in the general,
right, correct.
so.
Oh, coding that, how are we gonna code
That rural water guy, do you think he has any? Would he have any resources for as far as treating that and helping? Resources for building that building and treating that down there, do you think? Or is he is on the freshwater side?
Lance, I know they have a, septic side, but Lance is just freshwater now.
Excuse me.
The shop we could probably per go, but you know, the slack we take for the food shelf, which, how much has it been used?
It doesn't-
It isn't. And you know, the library, we got tons and tons of books out there. As soon as we mention something at a meeting, boy, that stupid Facebook just lights up how bad of people we are. But then it still doesn't get used.
No, at this point,
I mean,
half one, 6 dozen of the other, I think.
I think.
Just
we
let it
need to
ride
do
for right now.
something With the library. I mean, I agree, there's been a library in this town, I've heard from forever.
there has been, yes, absolutely. And
Other communities have them, however, they're run by volunteers.
Yep.
Which, I mean, if it's open, whatever, but the food shelf, I don't see as
Necessary.
as a need, to be honest with you.
No, I agree.
There's
Um,
no other city run one anywhere. So
No, there isn't.
organization that runs it.
well, we had some people that were gonna volunteer, but that didn't, you know,
No.
go far either, right? You know, so-
And I know the Lutheran Church was talking about, taking it over, doing something like that, but that's not gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, I heard Sharon Edwards
Yeah.
mentioned something
Yeah,
about.
that's not gonna go anywhere either.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh,
I
okay,
talked to Sharon last week,
okay.
so. There just really isn't a need, that I have seen.
They already got that loaves and fishes over there. That's.
Well, and that's
it's-
what, the Lutheran Church said, they help with that, they donate or something, they're, you know, somehow involved in that for somehow. So,
Yeah,
but,
It got portrayed as a lot heavier use than what really actually is now when,
well, I wish there was some historical, data that we had to fall back on, but I know there isn't. I mean, I was just using a check mark when I saw somebody come in, and that was a total of 6, I think I had filled in the summer.
there hasn't been.
6 for a whole summer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think there's probably been, well, I just continued, and it's not like we care who's coming or going, it's just. That way we can tell if there's a need or not, and I know there's a lot of that going, well, somebody's keeping an eye, and I don't really care. But it's more or less to see if there's a need for it,
Yeah,
But there's maybe, I think 11 that we had total,
since April
yes.
or May, I think I started.
Yep,
Probably duplicates or.
yeah.
and then Kelvin called the other day about, Tom wanted to get another quote from other people, And Kelvin told me, he says, this is a very rough draft for what we need because they didn't do a lot of measuring, So he says the way it is over there, you might want to make sure we get this right down to the last 8 penny nail.
Well, I think for right now, with what we're gonna spend this year, I think expanding that garage,
Can we put some lighting in there though? At least get the light bulbs
Maybe
replaced
I
in
can
there?
replace bulbs.
Can you those?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's in there? Just light bulbs?
Yeah, just light bulbs.
Huh.
I don't think they're the tubes, I think it's just.
Yeah,
bulbs.
there's tubes.
Is there?
Mhm.
I don't have some.
And there's only like one or two of them that are lit. It's very dim in there.
I wonder if you can screw them. Easy fix.
Computer or the internet.
It could be the internet, but we just got they just upped our internet on Friday, Thursday.
Well, that don't matter. Mine's floating up and down at home.
We consolidated.
There you go.
Yeah, mine drops out like this at home all the time.
And then you gotta keep in mind, John, did we get a snow blower? Is that ordered? Gonna get bought or?
It's there, it's in construction, it's in, they're building it right now.
Oh,
I
okay,
stocked it last week.
because we bought that truck too this year
Mhm.
and that snow blower, so that was gonna be another, what, 50? What did we pay for the truck? 40?
46.
but that's already money out the door, right?
Yeah, that's already out. Yep.
Yeah,
So.
but I mean, in the same year
Mhm.
with the snow blower, it was gonna be 85 or 88 or say
I
9.
think it's like 81. I
Yeah,
remember it.
so
Yeah.
anything, Brian, you think that we've missed that should be on this list as far as? I mean, they replaced another pipe over here. I mean, do we need to just keep replacing some pipe with stainless steel?
Well, the reason the pipe's broke is because the
That jarring?
pipe is broke free, it's shaking.
Yeah, but didn't they put another new one in right in the door there?
Yeah, that was because of that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, that's.
That jarring?
Yeah, two spots right there on both sides of the meter,
Really?
where the threads go into the flange.
Yeah.
That's where it
War,
started spraying out.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
When did that happen? Just recently?
month or month and a half.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, you've seen it,
Yeah.
you know,
So is there anything we can do up on that other than?
now without rebuilding the whole structure up in the top.
And I mean, that needs to be a priority to
Yes.
done this summer. Would we do a power spray then? Is it what you call that is where you put it in there, you put a tube in there and you spray it? Wasn't that one of the options?
At one time, they talked about putting a new header pipe in there with nozzles and
Yeah.
stuff. But there's nothing to mount it to anymore. It's all gone. It's all broke free, all that.
So what's the next
angle iron up in
option?
there. Cause that pipe was bolted to the framework of the trays
Yeah,
and it's all broken now. It's all
so what's the option?
nothing, cause it's, yeah, replacing it. There's nothing to mount it to, cause it's all wood.
Would we keep that same stand filter or do away with it all?
Would be gone.
You'd have
And
that,
started new with a couple pressure filters, but it's all up to nowadays, we were talking about the project the other day with Bolton Mink when they were out and. You know, what are you gonna do if they make us get rid of chloride, if they make, you know, the salt issue? Then you're talking like an RO like Amboy got
yeah,
and
they still got problems too yet, right?
yeah, issues. But I think some of it's. Inexperience, maybe never having had an RO before.
Yeah.
Our eats copper up too pretty fast.
Yes, that's the thing. So like he said, a lot of times you have to put a remineralizer in after, you have to use the RO to take out calcium, magnesium and chloride, but then you have to put back some of the other minerals or it'll pull them out of the pipe. So you have to use stainless or PVC
Oh, really?
pipe, at least in the well house and it's, RO's not the answer to, I don't know, these engineers nowadays, they gotta,
What is RO?
Reverse
reverse osmosis.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, it's
Without
a little iffy.
your house piping gets bad after.
What happened?
15 years.
So here's a couple instances, South Bend does no treatment at all. They don't remove anything, they're just taking well water and putting it out to the distribution system.
Really?
but they're getting constant complaints of odor and iron. And so they're adding phosphate to try to deal with that. They're adding phosphorus. But they don't have ponds or anything either. They discharge to the city of Mankato so they can dilute. And Pemberton has 2 small pressure filters to treat their water. They chlorinate, they add fluoride. But if they come up with a rule that says there was chloride, and what was the other one they're talking about? It's another chemical that I never even thought of. Were you, remember when we were talking?
Yeah, I can't
You
remember.
were probably overwhelmed, but, there's another chemical on the horizon that they want to start controlling. And that and the PFAS, so I don't know what's gonna be. I'm hoping that the engineers are on top of all this. 'Cause what do you put in? I don't know. Yeah,
So we bought that property for a new well head. We obviously, we need another well,
I
right?
do, definitely.
Yes, we do. We need a well.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to transform all this one, would we ever just build a new building down there and get those treatments right in there?
Possibly, if you have the,
Because otherwise over here, you gotta tear out the whole filter, right?
yeah.
The sand filter.
If it-
Then you gotta cut in a hole in the wall to get these pressurized, or what did you,
Pressure filters. yeah.
pressure filters in there. So you'd have to have a 8x8 garage door or 8x10 or whatever to be able to get it in there, and that brick structure is not that easy to do that to.
Right.
I mean, the building lines could remain there because we have our coming in there and distributing up to the water tower. So I mean, would it be a easier, cleaner fix?
Start new.
Start down there on that lot that would have bought for and run a new water main back up to the pump house.
If it meets all the setbacks,
Pardon?
if it meets all the setbacks,
It does. With the house gone, it will.
you know, maybe.
Didn't we ask Bolton and Mink to look into that though too,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they
But I mean,
they drew a chart already. Right on the, right there where that house was sitting, you could put a wellhead in there. But then that lot should really be knocked down leveler.
Yeah,
But these guys out here are also looking for clay. On the road project. I don't know if it's really worth their time for them to ever come in and pull it off, load it up, take it out there and do us a benefit too. You know,
the newest plant that operate has 2 wells and comes in for a SCADA system. There's a little panel, and then you've got lead, leg and alternate for both pumps so that it runs them both equally. One will run every other day at midnight it switches. So they're both used all the time. And those are the kind of upgrades you'll want to make.
so the problem with this being though is if we'd use this well, there's no way to treat that water. Right?
It has to come to a treatment plant, yeah.
Yeah, so then you'd have to take the water out of this back down to the new
It
one.
has to be plumbed together somewhere to a structure. Yeah.
And I was thinking, you know, that 4-inch water main that runs through the alley, 1 block south here, and it runs down, goes all the way down there, you know? You could start out at that new fire hydrant by the gas station or on there and take that and go straight south with it. And you wouldn't tear up a lot of street doing it that way, and you got a nice big new main going that way. So I was always gonna mention that to Jeff Domrus, you know, that we don't have to follow that route. They could backfeed them people through that alley on that, what's existing, but having that new main go all the way down Holiday, is it?
Yeah.
Holiday? So it's all things to look at.
But the new coated, what was it, 6-inch? Minimum?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where we always get hung up year after year. Could we do this? I don't know. Could we do that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's-
We just gotta say, we need a water plant.
Yep.
and have somebody draw it up and tell us what it's gonna cost, and then vote on when should we do it.
Okay, so we already have a new water main running down there from the well house down to that fire hydrant. That could be, we could use that as a return. And we could pump it out of the new building to run the water main system, right? Well, then you use it, these two shut-offs out here though too. Well, there'd be a lot of, it's an engineer deal.
Yeah.
That's all.
We can sit with that thing all night long and
Yeah, there's gonna be at zero when we get done,
answers.
so.
Okay.
Anything else, Race? You got anything you know?
So are we, just so I can let people know, is it for the shop and City Hall, are we canning those? For this year? or-
I think this one we definitely, I'm not canning it, just
Well, yeah.
not gonna do it.
Not this, not
On
this
hold.
year, yeah,
Put it this way, drinking water would be more important,
yes.
probably.
Yeah, yeah.
A good way to put it,
Well,
and shower water.
Well, we have, yeah, because we've got to do the I&I, we've got to do the phosphorus treatment, so. Okay, we'll clean this up a little bit and get a little cleaner picture for the meeting in March or February.
That $4.5 million for that new construction of outdated water filtration, is that very overly priced, or could you get that much money into that?
That's what Bolton Mink was,
That's probably on the low side. Eagle Lake is looking at putting in a treatment system now, and it was on the news the other night. I thought they said theirs was gonna cost $40 million.
40.
Yeah,
They're a lot larger
they
than
have nothing now, but yeah, that's a larger population, but
They're building
they
it
were looking at get a.
half the size of this room.
And I don't know.
Huh?
Their treatment thing is about half the size of this room, if even that.
Yeah,
So I mean, and this is an engineer thing, I mean, if you start moving on this, we gotta have the bonding and the money all in place before we even start doing this project, you know,
And that's a whole nother process that I know nothing about.
and yeah, that can take some time.
And I'm sure Minnesota doesn't make it very easy.
Nope. And again, when you go through that process, this town will not qualify because we do have a little money in the bank. So that's the worst thing that's happened to us. But you could run that down awful fast if you did some of this stuff and paid for it, took your money
Well,
down.
most of the stuff that we talked about, we've got. And we're committed to do it this year already. I mean,
So
so,
we would be using our reserves.
well, yeah, we're gonna be dipping some
Yeah.
heavy money this year, I think.
What's in the general right now, if you had a guess, Sue?
520.
520. So, and that's got that 67 in there, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We can spend that tonight.
We basically committed it
Yep.
probably a couple times, but
Well, have we helped ourselves tonight?
I think we've got a good starting point or a headache point or whatever you want to say. Did you want to ask for community comment?
I was just thinking about, yeah, well, that one crossing there, you know, by the post office there. He said they could line that under the road, right? That, or bore it,
Yep.
yeah, bore it.
Yeah, he said that it would be cutting, because the catch basin on both sides are small. So they'd have to, it'd basically be cutting a 12, I think it's like a 12-foot kind of square out of that. And then they have their 2 points that they can bore from, and then they put
Yeah,
new catch basins.
2 catch basins in it, yeah.
Bigger and sufficient.
I guess, you know, we're spending a little money. Should we have Race find out what kind of shape that pipe is going north and get that done, you know? within the next 30, 40 days, whatever.
You said Jetter Clean could probably scope that. for-
Affordable jetting out of it. Yeah, there's.
Sure.
people that could do it.
That's what, a few $100 probably for that little, that's
Probably.
Yeah, probably
okay.
300, 400, 5 at the very most,
I
probably.
think they're like 150 an hour or something.
Oh, okay,
So it's not
yeah.
even be less.
Cause we could really knock down some prices there. If we get some firm stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, community comment? Question?
Really.
Be as confused as we are.
Nobody? Anything else, anybody?
Sounds like everybody just needs to make some decisions.
Well,
There's money to spend too.
That's
Got to prioritize. That's the big thing.
if there's nothing else, then somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Someone second?
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I oppose. Motion carried. Thanks, everybody.